testing is basically like an hypothesis testing. For example, if you're trying to compare, let's say, a web layout, for example, like, and you're like, there's a control, this is how it looks, and then you're thinking like, oh, if I change this web layout, is it going to increase our metrics? Is it going to increase our revenue? So then when you now have the test and the control, and whichever one works better, sometimes the control might be better, sometimes the test might be better. So they decide to go with the, let's say, the text experiment if the test is better.
Okay. So, in what is this is saying is we most of the times we test if we do any promotional activities, if we introduce any new product into the market, okay, we always test, or if there isn't a price increase, right? We always tend to test what is my current performance with previous year, previous week, previous month, right? That is the basic test that you do. But please never do that. You should always have a control. So what is control? You will create a similar set of group that is similar to the testing group. Okay? And you will benchmark that control to do the actual testing of the test group. Okay? So I'll explain it in another way. Basically, the control group is used to nullify the seasonal impact. Okay? My friend, please, next slide, quickly. I'll explain this. What? Okay, so during this week 51, they did a promotion. Okay? Forget about control now, right? Forget about this control. This is a sales figure. Okay? In week 51, they did some promotion, and the graph went up, and it's maintaining the same. Is it correct or not? Guys, you have to answer my question. Otherwise, which means, like, am I not explaining very well, or you don't? Yeah. See, this is the graph of weekly sales of a company. Okay? Don't look at the red color chart now. Just look at the blue. It's going. On week 51, the company introduced a campaign, and the sales went up. Is it correct or not? Can I make this conclusion from this graph? Why is the answer. If you answer why,
Because it's possible that on the same week 51, there could have been multiple things that were done in that period of time that could have contributed to the sales going up. It doesn't mean that it was specifically the...
it's a deliberate example is there, week 51.
Huh?
The example is there. You can
Yeah.
give the example. Week 51, what
Yeah.
happens week 51?
So I'm saying week 51...
Week 52. It's a Christmas period.
Huh?
It's a Christmas period.
Okay, yes,
End of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's, what I'm saying is the example is
Is for the campaign?
obvious.
Oh, I see.
That the sales went up because of,
Of the campaign.
not campaign.
Oh, okay, of the Christmas.
It's because of the season.
Okay, oh, I see. Okay.
Right, it's because of, no, we cannot even say that one. We do not say unless we have the control group. We cannot say, see, they did some promotion on week 51. Week 51, 52, week 1 of the next year, sales is going to go high because it's the peak season. But since you have implemented a promo during that period, it doesn't mean that the sales went because of that promotions. So that's why we need to have a control group. So control group will, what it will have, it will nullify the seasonal impact. Okay? This is not in these industries, it is widely used in the drug development industries. Right? They develop 2 drugs. One is the actual drug, which is a testing. The other one is called placebo, which look exactly like test, right? You cannot differentiate just by looking at it. So they will give it to the sample of people, both the one, and they will write it down who is taking test and who is taking placebo to see the actual impact of test. But why are they doing it? Here, it's a seasonal impact, right? But in drug development, what are they trying to? Why do they need a placebo? Anyone? Yeah, the placebo is a control group, but why do they need control group in pharmaceutical drug development process?
Against just taking something that may not necessarily be have any health benefits.
Yeah, but you can give directly the actual drug to you and test it. Why, what is control is going to do there? You are almost there,
Yeah.
actually.
So
See, in this case, in business,
yeah.
in FMCG, it's a seasonal impact. So we use control to remove the seasonal impact
Yeah.
to get the actual impact, right? But in drug development process, why do you need placebo? If I have developed a drug for your cancer,
Yeah.
right? I can give it
So maybe
directly to.
they could also want to eliminate negative implications of other things that may be happening to the people aside the drug effect. So they want to isolate just the drug impact on the other group.
Okay, good. Yeah, that is one of the reason.
Sorry. For me, I would say they want to know whether actually the drug is actually working, because the placebo, they want to see, maybe you give the placebo and the patient still start getting well, and you give the drug the patient. So with the placebo, you'll be able to know whether the drug is actually working or not.
Yeah, there are two reasons. One is what he has said. So there might be something else he is taking, or maybe a local herb. We don't know. So that is one reason. But the actual reason is to nullify the mental impact, the psychological impact. Have you heard these things? Whenever you go to, on a serious case, when you go to the doctor, the doctor says, it's in God's hand, or it's in your mind. Drug cannot do anything. So trust me, when the people receive the placebo, they think that, hey, I'm getting cured because I'm receiving the actual drug. That positive energy should not play a game in that testing process. And that's why they have a placebo. So always, what I'm saying is always have a control. Without control, do not do the impact analysis. Let's go to the next one. Have you gone through this one? Do you want me to take you guys through this one? I have just 5 more minutes. Right? So this is a BCG matrix introduced by Boston Group Consulting Group to see your product portfolio. Right? So what they are saying is this is a market share of your product. This is the industry growth of your product. Okay? And they split the chart into 4 quadrants. You can also call it as a 4-quadrant chart, which I used to call it. Right? So this is the average of x-axis, and this is the average of y-axis. Okay? So what is this? Is low. And that one is high growth, high market share. This one is low growth, low market share. And this one is low growth and high market share. So you understand that, right? So that is a high growth and low market share, right? So next slide. I'll explain with an example, all right? So we call this low as a dog, right? So this is not having enough market share, as well as it's not growing itself. So what you need to do is you have to think about removing that product from your company. The reason is you will be given an equal number of resources, time, money to this one. So if you remove this one, at least you can spend that one on the good selling products. All right. So this is not the only case. There is another example of what we can do it. Stars are stars. Just these are the cash cows. Just take the money from this and invest in cows as well as in stars to maintain its own positions. And that is a question mark. We don't know what to do. That you have to discuss with your team and your industry. It changes, right? I will give another example of the same industry, and I will tell you what to do with that question mark, right? So now it's not just market share or industry growth. You can keep changing. See, this is what I'm trying to say. When you have certain techniques, understand the techniques, try to apply it in a multiple ways, right? So see, this is not a market share, profitability of your product. And this is a quantity sold, right? So now these dogs, it's neither profitable nor selling. I don't want to do anything about it. Now what is happening, this cash out, it's high profitability, but it's not selling more. So what I have to do is, I have to just do some combo promotions like toothpaste and something else in the stars, right? Which will increase the sales of the toothpaste so that the customer will experience buying toothpaste and they will think, okay, you will make the customers to expose to these products, right? Now, these stars and stars don't do anything. So in this case, question mark, right? Organic snacks. What do you need to do? It's selling high, but it's not producing profit, right? What you can do, try to source local products like raw materials. That is one. Otherwise, you can increase the sales of this by branding it as premium product, right? But still, you have to do the testing. Test it in few location. I'm connecting it, testing it in a few location, and rest of the location or products, you can use it as a control to see the actual impact of price increase. Then you can just go ahead. All right, then, I'm almost done. That's it. So this is cluster analysis. What you can do is you can group your data, your customers, for example, and do a targeted marketing, right? Based on the customer behavior, you can group the customer information and you can do the targeted marketing. And then there are a lot of things. You can group your manager's performance if you have so many outlets, right? You can group your products also. Right, so the next slide. All right, so other two things are the association rule mining. So this, you can use it to understand how to discover the items that are frequently co-occur in the transaction. So which items goes with which item, right? That is very important. Okay, that is all. The second one is KNN. This helps to find the outliers or anomalies for the fraud detection, right? But assume that if you have a poor quality of data, the poor quality of data will itself an anomaly. This technique will not work then, right? There are so many anomalies. All right. Next slide, final, madam. Sorry. All right, data analytics magic show. See, every data analyst is a magician, right? Trust me. But even a great magician cannot pull out rabbit out of hat which is filled with garbage. Simple as that. Garbage in, garbage out. Thank you.
If anybody would like to ask questions at this point, we'll try to minimize it to just three. Just three questions. Okay, so we have one. Any other person? Should we take all questions together and then answer together? I think we have just, okay, two. That's it, we have just two. Thank you.
Yeah, hello. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah, exactly.
Time to market. Like there's this promotion that this XYZ company just wants you to run. They don't have time to test. Do you have like practical experience with such scenarios, and how do you get the players to speak the data language? Is it a culture that you've developed in the past that materialize when those situations come to play? That's one. Two, I was super charged during your talk, and I'm just wondering, could you just give like 2, 3, 4, 5 words on how you end up adding an analytical as a lead, so to speak, in an FMCG, whereby we know that all statistical algorithm, I'm also a stat major, so maybe like an advice on how it can play, because I can see an okay.
Let me explain. I mean, I'll answer both of your question in single word. Okay, I'm a statistician. I have done a lot of machine learning projects. I have implemented a business intelligence architecture, right? As you said, it's a fast-paced industry. We have to time the market, right? For everything, just maintain the good quality of data. Have this council. Do you have this council in your company? Sure. No. So you cannot have 100% exact science or.
Can I start a scenario? So let's say SKU bundling, for instance. So let's say manufacturer says, this is a new product, but I want you to help me sell it. As such,
You want it to upsell.
To sell it, increase the sales, like a promotion, something like that. But please bond it together with a fast, like in this case, now, a star product or a cash cow. And you know, as a data analyst, that it's not going to work because they are not complementary products or something like that.
As a data analyst, even we are like a layman. We do not know what is going to happen unless
association room mining, right? You've already seen similar products. Category, I'm just using category now, not the product in particular. But it's a fast pace. How do you advise, or
you really do not have to, that is not discussed in MDM actually, council.
Okay.
That is completely a data analytics thing. So if they wanted to build a product and if they wanted to combine with a new high-selling product so that they will get a good promotion, you have to test it out. There is no other way.
Pilot testing, you mean?
Yeah, pilot testing. Without testing, if you are doing something, how much money are they invested in producing the product? They have taken a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of people, and they come to the data analyst guy and they will say, I don't have time. Do it now. Sorry, sir, it will not work. You have to do the testing. Without testing, you cannot do anything.
Okay, so good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, so I would talk to the aspect of the data management. That's making sure that data consistency is there. So I've worked in an e-commerce too. Jimmy has one. So we had the expansion project in some regions that are local or rural areas, and then we have this aspect of them having to register their money in a rush. And in that process, we have a lot of inconsistency of data. That's in their date of birth and every other stuff, and it's a lot of things to do. So one thing I find not convenient is the aspect of phone numbers. So I noticed that most e-commerce and even eateries, they make sure that instead of registering maybe with your email address, or I prefer email address, maybe me, but then I see that they go through the route of phone numbers, which in turn we get a lot of wrong numbers. Even in the aspect of marketing, you are not able to properly market to those like your actual customers because they have given you wrong details. I had a line in finance also where
I understand where you are coming to.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. See, that is one of the major challenges, right? There are two things. One is coming from the customers that we cannot avoid. If the customers deliberately want to give a wrong numbers, you can't do anything more than that. The second thing is discipline. Your operation guys must be very disciplined, trained on discipline to enter the data. If you do not have a data, have a policy saying that if the customer refuses to give you the actual phone number, just put 0. We understand. Okay, the customer refused to do it. And what is the alternative? Email. I'll go for email. So it's not from data, it's not from IT, it's from the operation to have a proper discipline. But still, we may not have 100% correct data because you cannot train them on daily basis, After some time, they will start back the same story. It's so what we are doing is we have to reduce this one. And there is something called, this is what I have done is, given is just an Excel kind of things. You can go ahead for different solutions, like Talent, Informatica. They are more into MDM solutions. Even Blue Chip Data and AI, they have a solutions for this. So you can go ahead with that one. But that is the basic. Please do not jump to the step 10 by not climbing all the steps from 1 to 9. Cool. All right. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you very much, Ashok. Thank you very much. We really appreciate the time you've given us. This is just from Blue Chip to you, a little gift. And also from yourself, I don't know who you're going to declare the most interactive person in the room. So you're presenting this to that person as well. We have just one for the session. I think he was most interactive, actually. I think he was. Round of applause for you. Thank you very much. All right, then. So this brings us to the end of our second breakout session. Yeah? So if you are not going to be taking the third breakout session here with us, you can actually go ahead and locate your room, your next room. If you intend to stay on with the green room for your next breakout session, then you can retain your seat. Thank you very much. And move forward. Thank you.
Okay. So for green room, we have generate your preparedness for generative AI, a low-cost, fast start